Alrighty, welcome all. New members, any new members here today? We haven't seen before? Okay. Okay. If there's no new members, I will go through the advantages then. Treasurer's report.
Okay, as of just the other day here, we have $11,244.48 in the checking account. I think I told you a couple months ago, or last month, that we received a nice bequeathment, I should say, from Ted Lover's estate. Came to about $4,600. Added a lot of cash to the account. So far, we've paid our insurance. This is for our property, our equipment, $296 for insurance. That's an annual fee that we paid. Been paying for some supplies, the Zorro company for face shields, that sort of thing. That's about $438 for that. Insurance cost $296. And last month we took in $471.50 on cash receipts, 198 in supplies, 180 in raffle, 42 in the hospitality, and $50 in membership. So we're doing okay. We've got a good amount of money. We've just spent $200 for Festival of the Arts, sent out to Fred Bivens. And
that's for the Roger Denbroder Award.
Right, Roger Denbroder Award. Then I gave Ken another check for $400, which is not yet reflected on here, for Festival of the Arts as well. So that's basically what we have. If you have any questions, come and see me.
So we're up to date on our rent for here then, right?
What's that?
We're up to date on our rent for here, right?
Rent here?
Yeah.
What rent?
But not $1, you know.
No, I paid him about $30 about 3 months ago. It's not much, so, although we do freeze in the wintertime.
No, I will put in a plug again for anybody who's interested in wood. You should talk to the guy here. He'll give you a great deal on the exotic boards that he's got. He's got a whole room full of exotic woods back there. He is interested in selling his wood to us, and he'll actually undercut any of your other sources by
I might have a
50%.
suggestion that maybe you should put some prices on them, so I kind of hate to ask people what, but if there's a price on it, you don't know whether it's cheap enough or
Well,
whatever.
haggle. You give me a price and then you offer him a little bit less, and it's a good deal, okay? It'll make you feel better. Joe won't think any less of it we already do.
Well, I know, but I do have my list.
The Puppet Museum's still looking for volunteers to do some turning down there. See Ken or Dave Miller if you're interested in doing that. Festival sales tent. Ken,
Okay.
Cover that.
Okay, guys, we've reached crunch time. Since we're relaying out the way things have changed for Festival, we're kind of redoing what we've done every year. We need to know everybody who wants to participate. I have a sign-up sheet. We have to get it finalized so we know how to proceed in acquiring what we need to set this up. So what we're going to do is when we take a break, grab a cup of coffee, and I'm going to call a meeting back here that anybody who's interested, even if you're even interested in helping out, please come back. We need to discuss this so I can get some final numbers to know how to proceed. We've been accepted in, everything's going well. So the next step is who's playing and how do we proceed, okay? So grab your coffee, come back and see me. Also, if I can get a volunteer to sell raffle tickets, somebody you tied up with here, come see me, we'll get you set up there too, okay? Any questions at this point? First weekend of June, 1, 2, 3, Fred? Is that correct? Okay, I guess that's it for now, but we need to talk, okay?
Also related to the festival, they're going to have a demonstration tent this year, so we need volunteers both to turn and to set up get the lay down there and set that up.
Looking for one person just to take
One person to
help out.
We got the one person.
We do?
There we go.
Okay. Who?
He's gonna help get the lay down. You are. You said last month.
Okay. You must have volunteered. Good one.
Festival Arts, regional arts competition for 2018. Each person will allow 3 items. One item is $25, 2 are $40, and 3 pieces for $50. And if
Anybody who needs the information on that, I'll pass, or I'll leave these out. When you come up to put your tickets in the hole over there, grab one of these. It has all the information for registering, pre-registering, and you don't have to pre-register. It just makes it easy, but you can register when you bring your work in. We're taking in work again at 1101 Monroe. It's the old city water offices, and we'll be doing that on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of May. So I'll put these over there, and you can pick them up.
Hands on retreat this year. Ron, you want to give us some information on that?
It's nice to see the checks starting to come in, okay? You've got till May 15th at 125. After that, it's 150. I have had so many people volunteer to demonstrate this year, it's just surprising as hell. Sally Alt's back. Sally's a professional woodturner out of San Diego. Rebecca DeGroot is coming back again from Houston. Todd Raines has volunteered. Todd and his wife own wood turning tool supply out of Allen, Texas. He's going to demo an Asian J-hook tool. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with them or have seen it. It's an ancient type of hollowing tool. They're spectacular. It's designed by Michael Hoslick. He is selling these for Michael. They're pretty inexpensive. Barry Todd's also going to demonstrate. If you watch Scott Phillips at all on PBS, Barry is on that show at times. He's out of Ohio. I got Jeff Horning coming in. Jeff is a demonstrator. I saw Jeff for the first time at the AAW a couple of years ago, then in Ohio last year at the Ohio Symposium. He also represents Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Sheen. He sells those products, has his own website. Greg Garagos. Greg is from Heslett, Michigan. And he was just featured in Wood Symphony. And he does almost what looks like a flower coming out of a ball. They are spectacular. I've been all over him to do this. He's never done a demo, okay? So this is going to be a learning process for him. I'm really excited to have him on board. Greg just won the cover of Wild recently. Jeff just won the cover of Wild last week. And then Tom Hale is coming back. We're not sure yet what Tom's going to do. Tom just won the cover of Wild yesterday. We got John Marquardt. John has volunteered. We just had a discussion. He's going to send me some syllabuses. Tom Sampson's also volunteered. Matt Harbour from Detroit. Matt's been with us for 3 years doing his demos. And I've got Chris Skates, the head engineer at Carter Products, is going to do the sphere jigs. I'm still adding to the list. July 26th, 25, 26, 27 is the event. Demonstrators, if you want to demonstrate, let me know. Send me some syllabuses. We're also going to have on Wednesday a day for demonstrators only. The group wanted to get together and do an exchange of ideas, maybe do some collaboration work. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to bring some pieces that we can swap to collaborate with. Again, that's part of the benefit of being a demonstrator. I hope all of you are getting the emails that I'm sending out. They're going out once or twice a week. I'm doing a bio on each demonstrator and a syllabus and ideas of the classes. No, I don't have classes set up yet. as we start to gather all the different types of classes, we don't want to duplicate classes. So Tom Hale and I will start to put that together in the next 2 weeks, and then we'll send out a class schedule. The most important thing you can do for the retreat is bring a lathe, okay? We can't do this without lathes. We had 30 lathes last year, actually 34 lathes. 4 of them we opted out because we didn't feel they were the quality of lathe we needed. We didn't even use all 30 at times because we had last year a lot of carving classes that were all filled up in off-lathe classes, which I still need for this year. So think about what you might want to contribute and how. Any questions? I am going to limit it to 60. My people from North Dakota, South Dakota are not going to make it this year, so that opened up 10 more slots. They've all had conflicts. The guys from New York are not coming in again this year. That was 3 more of my industrial arts teachers. So there's a dozen sites that have opened up. Questions, comments? Yes.
What type of lathes are you looking at?
Middies.
Middies?
Yeah, middies. You know, we'll take any middie. Frederick Rainier is going to be in charge of lathes. It's one of the complicated things of everybody saying they're going to bring a lathe. I need to know that you are bringing, you are committed. So Frederick has decided to take that over for me, and that'll go out in the next newsletter. I've got 2 more that'll go out in the next week, and this will be the 3rd one. Other questions?
Ron?
Yeah.
Have you decided to ask people to bring a tool bag with chucks and centers and stuff in it?
Yes. There'll be a list of tools that are required for each class, but we do need chucks. God forbid we need drive centers. Okay? I mean, we went through on Thursday night to make sure there was a drive spur and a live center for each lathe. First class hadn't started and we were short on drive spurs. Okay? So if you can, try and remember to bring that stuff, mark your stuff properly. We did a great job of marking lathes in every part for that lathe last year. But somehow the drive spurs were gone, okay?
What size taper?
Pardon?
What size taper?
Mostly M2s.
M2s. 99% of them were M2s. I don't think we had any other lathes, but M2s.
1-inch chucks or 1-inch gauge probably?
A 1 inch.
1/8.
A 1 inch. Or bring the college at one side, okay? Any chuck will work. We'll make it work, okay? There will be sales tents again as there was last year. Carter will be there. They offered 25% off last year, which was a gigantic discount. Woodturning Tool Supply will be there. Hampshire Sheen will be there. There's a number of them that will be selling at discounted prices, okay? Get your checks in. Help me out with budgeting. I mean, it really does make a difference. The tent is committed for. We'll do a 20 by 40 tent again this year, plus the garage, plus the 20 by 50 barn. Questions, comments? Okay.
And if you bring a chuck, you might want to consider throwing a key in with it too. It seems like UICA Color of the Year Tour with Steve Lord. Does anybody know anything more about that than I do, other than it's all okay, well, so much for that. Any other new business or old business? All right, well, let's do the show and tell. Anybody that's got a piece up here to show and tell, get up right now and go ahead and get in line here and go through that. Salad bowl finish on it. Let's pull from the board. Everybody probably knows what that is. That's mine.
Oh,
Steve Payne. State your name.
Joe off the bowl here. I don't remember if I brought it in before or not. That's where my memory's going. So I brought in an ink pen then too, just to double. Yeah, sure. I don't know what kind of wood that is. Anyone?
Looks like ash. Looks like
Okay,
ash.
unknown wood. The pen is some spalting.
Okay, you have to stop moving it around if you want anybody to see it.
You can't catch that on the slide, Peter?
All right. There you go. All right. Go for it.
Where do you want?
Right about down there.
This is a piece of tree? No. I'm John Marquardt. I just started turning and it jumped right out at me. The hardest part is getting the termites to stay in there to hollow it, but we got them trained and they did all right. I got about 12 to 15 coats of white Mont Poly, satin, and then after it dried, I buffed it out. First time I've done much buffing and I'm starting to like it. The story behind this, and it's hard to believe it could happen to someone that's through, and we'll only mention his name because he isn't here. He had a coring device, and he was coring, but somehow he miscalculated where he was with the tool, and when I got it, it was a funnel. This beach piece was a funnel about a 2-inch hole in the bottom, and they were going to throw it. You want it? I'll fidget. He was going to throw it, and I said, no, I think we can save it. So I took it home. It's probably 5 or 6 months, 4 or 5 months since it came out of the tree. And what I did is I made a jig to hold it so I could turn a flat surface on the bottom. I glued it with segmented ring, glued that to it, segmented ring and the bottom piece, glued that to it. And then I put it in the chuck, trued up the top, and put a segmented ring around there. The only concern I have at this point is the air-dried beach going to be different than the air-dried kiln, and is it going to move? So far, so good. That also has about 12 or 15 coats of white Mont Poly and buffed out. So it is a save. Don't throw your oopses away. They can be saved.
I have a guy who quartered something for me. It was a very expensive mesquite burl, and it's a funnel now too. Maybe I could. You still got that jig?
We may have to make a jig to fit the piece, is what it boils down to.
Well, this was just going to be a piece of firewood. I had a log I was going to throw in, and I said, heck, I could make a nice little one out of that, so I saved that.
What's the center? What's that center?
It's, you can buy that mineral that's all ground up. And,
Beautiful. Inlays.
Inlays.
Changes color in the light.
And they have different
When that's dry, those are damn.
colors of inlay and stuff, and it's just ground up. So you groove that out and put it in there. This one was the first time I used that. And it was kind of hard to get it in there. It just was really thin, and I had to fight with it quite a bit. You know, then the next time I got it a little better. So.
Do you use epoxy then for doing that in?
The inlay has got its own stuff in it, you know, so you don't have to use epoxy.
Oh, yeah.
It's all,
It is a resin.
all in it, you know.
Hi, my name is Jim Crash. This was supposed to be for the February meeting, this off-center turning, but of course I was in Arizona. And I was gonna send it to Tom, but I didn't get it in the mail in time, so I didn't. Anyway, this is myrtle wood from Oregon. Somebody, one of the guys died in our park and left a big bag of myrtle wood. And so the pieces are out. I put 3 pieces together here. And I wanted to try this. I've done a 4-center turn, a 5-center turning with 4 and then 1. But when you do too many centers, it gets to be almost round. So 3 makes it nice, I thought. Anyway, it's made out of 3 pieces, and it was mounted on a piece of plywood. And all of my faceplates have an 1/8 inch pin sticking out of them, so I could put the plywood on the pin to do the center, and I could put it on one of the other ones to do the other centers and move it around, and each one had a set of 6 holes. And the nice thing about it is I had to go back and forth quite a few times. Just you get down to this one, it's a little bit higher or lower than that one, and then you go back, go back, go back. And
Pretty soon you got a funnel.
yeah, if you do that too far. But anyway, what I did is I cut this groove in here, and then when I set these up, I had to set it up again for the centers. I set each center up, and I cut the groove to be tangent to the outer ring, and then filled them all with turquoise. And it's just buffed is all it is. It's got Danish oil and buffed and waxed. And this is a handle I turned. First time I've ever done a 16-inch handle turned off center all the way. And this end right here is 1/8 of an inch off center. So my faceplate has 1/8 inch holes in it. So they're tangent and they break out. There's no way I could put a drive center on. So there was a big piece of wood here mounted on the faceplate, and I moved it 1/8 of an inch. On this end, there was a center. These are 3/16 off center. So there's aluminum plate screwed onto there with 3 centers in it, so I can move it around to do it. And it came out pretty good. It chattered a bit because you can't put a steady rest on an awful thing. Anyway. Oh, and the head. This is railroad spike. Chuck Andrews is a blacksmith who teaches out at Tillers International, and he's in our park every winter. And he built a forge last year. So I've been after him to do this, and it's really interesting how he does this. But he smashes it out. He said, "How do you get the hole? You drill a hole?" They don't drill a hole in there. They get that thing cherry red, and they take a straight punch, and they punch it from both sides, and then punch a round one through it. That's how I get the hole in there. Very interesting.
A couple of lid containers here, okay? This one was it's a cherry burl. It was salvaged out of a wood stove, like somebody else said. I literally got it before he threw it in there. And it turned out pretty good, I think. This one is a catalpa. Got a few voids in it. And I left the bottom thick because I was afraid I was gonna catch on one of these voids, Neighbor kid come over when I was doing it. I was gonna put a knob on it, to take the lid off. He said, "You're gonna put a handle on it?" So this is what I did. Pardon? Oh, okay.
Dave Curley, this didn't quite get finished. I was hoping to get it finished last night, but my grandson came over unexpectedly, so grandsons take precedent when we're turning anything sometimes. But anyway, I had someone ask me, had I ever turned this, does anybody recognize what this is? So what they said was, have you ever turned a hot chocolate stir, a Mexican hot chocolate stir? I said, I don't know, I've never seen one. So I looked it up online, there's some videos out there. And basically, you put this in your pan of hot chocolate and just do this and froth it up. So there's some captured rings on here, which in my mind, I was always thinking captured rings are round, And this kind of opened up my mind to say, they don't have to be round, right? So, but anyway, traditionally it's, made like this. It's burned across here to get the color on it. And then they just use, I used a saber-tooth bit with a Dremel. But they generally have a wheel that they'll use, and they'll just do that all the way across there. So that's, I'm just not quite done with it yet, and it's probably going to be a prototype because I found a knot here and some things here, but the handle's generally thinner, and I still need to go in here and sand some things out. A lot of these have recesses far enough in here to allow holes to be to generate when you cut these grooves. So that also helps with that process of frothing up your hot chocolate. So anyway, it was a challenge, and I'm always up for a challenge. Yes.
I'm Elizabeth Day. This is a hollow form that I made out of a piece of walnut that was a junction between a stump, or the trunk and the branch. So it's got some feathering in there. It's a really pretty piece of walnut, but that's a hollow form I made. Then these two pieces, there was what my father thought was an elm that he cut down, but it was all full of voids and inclusions and such. It was really interesting wood. One of the quotes I made was, if this wood had even more character, it could tell its own jokes. But what I did with it is, this is my husband's first. He made a bowl out of it, a live edge bowl. So that's what he turned there, and I turned this hollow form there, intentionally going with one of the deeper sections to try to, so you could see the inside here. So I turned that out of that wood. So like I said, not entirely sure what it is because it doesn't exactly look like elm, but it's a pretty piece of wood.
I'll share this, not because it's beautiful, but to share the things I learned in the process. It's a piece of maple that I intended to make an open top on it, but there were so many inclusions around the top, I kept taking off more and more and ended up with the top coming over this way instead. Put a tenon on it and started to hollow, and the tenon just sheared right off. So I put a new tenon on it and started turning it again, and that one just sheared off. So I figured, I'm stuck, I guess I can't turn this. And then it occurred to me, wait, I could do a recess. So I recessed the bottom, and that held, and I was able then to turn the inside, but with as much round over as there is here, it was hard to get around to hollow that inside. And then I realized I can reverse the lathe, and I was able to hollow it, from the other side. So as I hollowed it out, one thing I forgot is the recess is different than, so I'm So I decided not to let it stump me, and I went ahead and went through the process again, and this time had a bottom line. That's maple, spalted maple.
Terry Leekers. My wife was asking me to make some coasters for our four-season room, and first used some 1x redwood that I had out there. I made them stackable. Then I had some leftover cutting board laminate up. Basically, I wanted to put a finish on it, but my wife thought that the condensate from the glasses wouldn't soak in; it would just puddle up there. So if anybody knows of a finish that I can put on here that would still be.
I'll put some cork on it.
Yeah, I could do that, and then finish it.
Yeah, well, don't finish the inside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anybody have another kind of finish that an oil or I know linseed oil would seal this right up. Wouldn't be able to absorb the water.
Well, I've done coasters and I put a finish on them and I just let the condensate sit in it. Then it doesn't damage the wood.
Or you can use styrofoam cups.
I just brought these in. The turnings aren't great, they're just kind of quick and dirty, but I started playing around with some of the inlay stuff. And it's really interesting stuff to work with. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot where the camera was. So anyways, I got some more, we'll be doing some more experimenting.
What is the red?
The red is actually a new color that they just introduced.
It's inlays?
It is inlays, yep. They came out with the red, and there's also a jade green. This one's turquoise, the standard. But yeah, if we work this out, I think we'll probably be doing a class like this up to Ron's. So if you're interested, watch for it.
Give her about around the pause for the.
Everybody familiar with, sure that's a Herman Miller School, one of a group of three that did that.
All right.
You moving in?
Yeah.
He must have just finished these this morning, that's why he was late.
Thanks. So you can examine them, not gonna hand it, turn it, take it off and leave an inch on top. Well, yeah, Mike. Tried to make it as close as possible.
They're pretty good.
It's the table, I think.
It chews up a heck of a lot of wood scraps, I can tell you that.
I guess.
A lot of little blocks of wood there.
All righty.